Hi guys, yeah, Bob Ranch video. Yeah, another different part of the trail. This is Kennedy Lake. Um, it's coming in really in June, and E3 is coming up next week here. And right now, this is where we enter in here, and this is where we ride our horses. We go up to this lake here, not quite to this point here, because yeah, there's actually a couple of places where people camp at. A couple of a natural chair, just carve out the log. Yeah, innovative over here. And we're going to be talking about more of E3, a couple of games that I wish I want to be able to providing here. I think Nintendo's going to be announcing more games for the Switch. But you know what? The thing about the Switch anyway is that it's a handheld unit. Yeah, Nintendo claims that it's a Nintendo claims that it's a hybrid, but you know, in the end, it's going to be a handheld unit, and I think that's and it's going to backfire. And I'm going to have to show you it's going to backfire and eventually here, because let's face it. I mean. The point I have to make out to this is that, you know, in order for you to have this hybrid concept, which is not going to work anyway, you have to dumb down the hardware to shrink the chips. Yes, it shrinks over time, like, you know, the Atari 2600 Junior. Back in the times when the Atari 2600 Junior was shrunken down, it was yeah, it's the same power, but yeah, yeah, but it was like 10 years later when the 2600 Slim, which is actually named the Junior, came out 86, 87, at a time when the 78 come out here, which my parents just got the 7800 because the 2600 kind of crapped out. I have the 2600 Heavy Sixer, that's one of the ones that I have a repurchase here, but going on to the Switch, let's face it, Nintendo's going to need to release a new dedicated home console. You know, it's 5 months in this generation. No, 5 years into this 8th generation, and I mean, because the system is sub-power towards the PS4 and the Xbox One, how is it going to compete with the 9th generation? I mean, you've got 9th generation consoles that are going to be coming out in the near future, maybe 1, 2, 3 years max. So Xbox Scorpio could be the sign of a new system. And like it or not, the PS5 is going to be coming out in 2019, look at 2019, 2020. That's like 2 years away. So, I mean, the PS4 is 5 years old already. I mean, it's just, you know, it's, I mean, these ages, I mean, the PS4 Pro is, at that point in time, I'd probably just wait until the next system that's going to be coming out. So, yeah, back to Nintendo. I think they're going to, I think they will be, we're going to have a Mario Odyssey that's going to be, there's going to be a new Mario Odyssey, and, I mean, and like, to be honest, I mean, this system should have waited until October. We've got a system now that only has like 2 games, and it's like probably 2.5 months in, and we still haven't have the amount of games I usually purchase at launch, which is 3 games. So, I mean, let's face it, if they would have waited until October, we would have, you know, had enough systems manufacturers to go around, and some people can easily get one without all the trouble. And so, let's face it, man. I mean, that's what I have to say about this here. PS4, I like to see more of these games. We still haven't came out yet. That new God of War game, which is the Sun. Still haven't had that out here. Death Rising. I think I forget what the name of it goes. Dead Rising, whatever it is. They might have a Red Dead Redemption 2. I might the sequel to that one. And I don't think Sony could release a new PS5. Is what I have here. So it's going to be mostly just Red Dead Redemption 2, and the Xbox. They'll release a Scorpio, which is which could be a semi-next generation, but I believe that which I think it could be that there could be some instances that this could be the start of the ninth generation of. Let's face it. I mean, the eighth generation began with the Wii U back in 2012. Wii U followed by the PS4 and the Xbox One. Let's think of it this way: 2012, 2013 is 2017. Now let's put the equipment in let's put this in the equipment. Super Nintendo released in 1991. And in those days, it'd be 1995. And the Super Nintendo was aging back at the time here. And it hasn't changed nowadays. I mean, the PlayStation 3, let's think of the PlayStation 3. It was released back in 2006. It's 2010 now. We're like now, it's well into the PlayStation 3 Slim. And the Xbox original, 2001 or 2, it's 2006. So I mean, look, and this is late. We're right now already in the late stages of the 8th generation now. Yeah, it might be a little changing right now, but I mean the cycle is like still 5 years. So I mean, so the Switch being even subpar to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, I mean, you gotta admit, I mean, when you make a hybrid system, by making a system portable you can carry anywhere, you have to dumb it down. I mean, this is the Switch here. You have to have an external thing, and I have to have a clip the pin in my pocket to go around here. You gotta face it. I mean, this is a dumb idea. Making a Switch which you can't fit in your pocket, and so when you take it home, it just inferior. It's just the third parties are gonna be like, oh, this is not powerful. We're gonna have to, we're gonna have to stick with the PS4 and the Xbox Ones. I mean, it's just a fraction of the games announced for the Switch, and it's like all the other games that are being released for the PS4 and the Xbox One. And I think come this E3, I mean, if this is the case, I mean, this is how it backfires. And so I'm now beginning to have doubts of the Switch already. I mean, being an oversized handheld that you got new consoles on the horizon and within about a couple of years, and I'm thinking, it's like, why purchase this where I can just wait for a couple or 3 years? The Switch could be a mini, which is gonna have to wind up being and getting a new console. So yeah, the Xbox is gonna be announcing the Scorpio. I think a new Halo game, of course, because who wants the Xbox with a Halo game? And so next week is. So I think this is what I'm just latest rundown of next week's of E3. So yeah, other than that, I'm just want to be able to focusing on here. So what I have to say, welcome to summer, Kennedy Lake. I think you can swim, and I'm not sure. Welcome to summer 2017. I got a couple of I think you can, because you have a couple of swimsuits that you can swim on the lake.